Hey Tube, welcome back. Today we have this problem. We're talking about we have a system design interview problem. We have been asked to design Twitter. So let's get into it. So as we say is all the time, the system design interview all the time start with the big question, or just design Twitter. And Twitter it has multiple services, multiple features. So we should um we should basically ask for when we got the questions, we should ask for clarification questions to know which specific features that we want to design in Twitter, so we end up designing the right thing. And when we are in the design interview, there is a framework that I like to use, which will be start from four. Let me make the text smaller and make it white. First of all, I want to ask for a clarification question. Clari- Clarification questions, and the second it will be that we will make like a proposal high level design. Let's say high level design. And the third will be like a deep dive into certain area of this high level design. And after that we wrap everything up. And maybe we talk about improve things. So this is the framework that I like to use. It's a 4 steps. So let's just start with the first one, that we want to ask for clarifications questions. And a clarification question, when it comes to clarification question and you want to ask about them, it's also it's also a pretty straightforward. So let's just say that you will ask like we can ask maybe like 5 to 7 questions, and there is some question you find yourself that you ask them all the time. So the first one that you will ask it's called, it will be like what specific feature are we designing? And this question, I guess, it will fit into a lot of interviews, systems interviews. Of course, there is no one question that fits all, but this question specifically, when we have a vague request like design Twitter, we should just know what specific feature that we are going to design. The second one, it will be, are we supporting web and mobile, or maybe like what are the devices that we are supporting. The third one, it will be how many daily active users do we have. And the maybe the other give me a minute. The other questions, I guess they will be based on what on the first one. So let's say that we want to know which what specific features are we designing. Let's say that we are going to design let's say we are going to design, let's make this one. We are going to design the ability to publish. Let's make this wider. Publish and let's say publish with this one. Publish and read posts or tweets. Tweets. And let's say for this one we are saying are we supporting web, and let's say yes. And how many direct users? Let's say that we want to make it scalable, so let's talk about 15 million. And let's the other questions, as we said, that it will be depends on the first one. So first one we could ask about this one is that um, maybe we could say can the tweets include images? And let's say that the answer it will be yes. And let's say mm, um let's talk about the algorithm. Should we care about the algorithm to display tweets? And let's say that for the simplicity of this video, let's say no. And let's say maybe I would just wanna talk about what is the volume, the traffic volume. Maybe no, we ask the traffic volume. Maybe you can ask how many friends can a user have, and let's say it will be 5,000 friends. No, followers, and let's say 5,000. Okay, so from this section we finished the first section, and when you finish the clarification question, you will come with your estimation. And I just want to say that whenever you come with your estimation, you want to ask your interviewer for clarifications, or like ask your interviewer and tell him okay, did I get right? Is that what I'm thinking is right? Like, we don't want to assume everything. So let's see what are the estimation that we have. So let's just start. Sorry, let me refresh. Okay. So let's make this bigger, and I want it to be let's say golden. So let's start with the first one. The first one we have is that that maybe we want to build our system should be highly available because it's availability, and you should ask this, like, make sure you talk about this with your interviewer. I guess our system will be global. We have other requirements that we can create post tweets, and we have read tweets, and we have okay, so maybe we just have this one. We just to care about the building the news feed of Twitter and the news feeds publishing. So let's say that we come with these requirements. Of course, we can put more, but just this what coming to my mind. And you ask your interviewer, "Are this is okay?" Based on this question, we want to have available globally. We are supporting 50 million users. We care about the read and create tweets. So is this good or not? And based what your interviewer will tell you, you can go. So I guess we finished this one. So let's just make it white, and let's try to propose a high level design. So in the high level design, we'll think about about it like that. First of all, let's think in terms of API. Okay, so in terms of API, we have let's say that we would have let's just make this one bigger. Yeah. In terms of API, we start with the feed publishing, because also we are working with two things, or like two main requirements. We are feed publishing, or like tweet publishing, and we could say in terms of how we can do this one is that it will be, maybe we will use an HTTP request, or say we could use the HTTPS protocol, and we can use HTTP post, and to create this to create to create this one. So we say that we can have HTTP post, and the path will be what could be the path? The path could be okay, let me have another one for this one. Oh, sorry, I can't have inner. Okay, so feed publishing, and the path will be let's think. The path could be it will be like a post request, and the path will be I'll just make it will be a post request, and it will be the path let's say v1, and yeah, v1 I guess v1 feed, or like v1 post, or let's say v1 me slash feed. So by this one we create feed, and the second one, which will be reading, let's say it will be no, before we go, I want to talk about something important also. Is that maybe in the params we will have a auth token, and also we will have maybe we will have the content of the tweet. And let's talk about the next one, which will be the read. So this one will be retrieve the tweets. No, it's this color is not that good. Let's just get this. Retrieve. And this one retrieve, it will be a get request, and maybe it will be maybe also it will be get v1 slash me slash feed, and I guess the params will be, maybe the param could be only the auth token. So let's just have these params, and I guess the params could be the auth token only. And you want to ask your interviewer for clarification for everything, like say, is this good, is this fine? And once we did the API, we have two main things. Let's just create a specific to route for these two things. So let's just start first with the feed publishing. Okay, so in the feed publishing, we will have let's say that we start with this one. So we have, let's just I want it to be white, and this one also to be white, and I want it to have like some sort of this. So let's say that we have a user, and this user will be could be a web or mobile, and this user is connecting through a domain name system, a DNS. So to take the so basically the user will send the domain system, for example facebook.com or twitter.com, to the DNS, and the DNS is a third party paid service. And basically the DNS will, when it takes the domain name, it will send back the IP address of our backend server, so the client can connect with it. So our as we said before, let's just put this one here. Oh, that is big. It's too big. So the client will connect with in v1 me and feed called, and with the params it will be, for example, we said the params will be content, and it will equals to let's say example equals hello, and and that's in this one, and we have maybe like auth token, and it will be decoded maybe, and just will be had like let's say that it will be auth token. So let me just okay. So okay, so the client is connecting with the DNS to get the IP address of our backend server, and whenever the DNS sends the request back and send the IP address back, the client will connect it to our backend with the IP with its IP address, and was connected with this HTTP requests. And physically we have the client will connect with a load balancer, because we have a lot of users, so we can just have only one oh sorry, we can have only one balancer, load balancer. So because we have multiple users and we have like 50 millions, and it should be a global scope, and so we can't one server can't handle all of this requests, so we use a load balancer to distribute the requests and just to make sure that we have a maximum availability. So the load balancer is connected with a web servers, and these web servers is connecting, like maybe we have 3 main servers, and we just talk about each one of them. No, I don't like this one. Okay. No. One. And let's say that we will have 2. And we will have 3. Maybe we can have it like that. And delete this one. And we have 4. Okay, so let's just have the like that. Okay, so we have three main servers. One which will be a post server, and this is the most easy one to understand, service. And when you have another one called a fan out, and we'll talk about what that means. And maybe you have the last one, it will be the notification. So we have these three main servers, and the fan out service, it's push the new content to friends, to friends newsfeed. This is the main thing about the fan out. So the post server, the post service is a processed post in the database and cache it. So the post server will get the post and save it in the database and cache it. So it will serve. We have post cache, and this one we store frequently accessed data, and in this one we have post database. And in the fan out we had a newsfeed cache. Let's say newsfeed cache, and I guess that we're done. So let's just talk about this. So let's start from the beginning. So a user can view the user can view news feed on the browser or from mobile app or web application, and we connect with the backend with the post request with a content called hello, for example, and the auth token, which will hold, it will be decoded and it holds the user ID. We have a load balancer to distribute the traffic, and after that we have web servers, and the web servers redirect traffic to different internal services. We have first the post server, the post service, and the post service process the post in the database and the cache. We have the fan out service, and this one push new content to friends news feed, and newsfeed data is stored in the cache for first retrieval. We have notification service, and this one, it's inform friends that new content is available, and they can check it if they want. And I guess this is the journey for the newsfeed, for the feed publishing. Let's just put this one here, and I want it to be, sorry, no, delete this one, delete. Let's just make this one bigger, and let's call this one is news publishing or feed publishing. Okay, so let's just to copy this one because I don't want to do this from scratch again, and we will talk about the feed retrieving. Okay, so the feed or like the news feed. Let's see the news feed building, feed publishing, news feed building. And the newsfeed building is it's pretty straightforward, exactly the same thing, but we just delete this, and this, and this, and we only have this one, and it will be a newsfeed service. and the newsfeed cache is the same. So and let's delete. So for this one, the user sends a request to retrieve the newsfeed, and the load balancer distribute the loads across multiple web servers, and the web server send the request to the newsfeed service, and the newsfeed service fetch the newsfeed from the cache. And this is how the two them works on high design. So let's just take a deep dive. So if we want to take a deep dive, let's just take a deep dive into the feed publishing. So let's just take a deep dive on this one, and I would like to copy. Yeah, let's copy this one, and delete this one, and okay, so let's just try to get like that. Okay, so let's just say this one, it will be deep dive. And let's just make this one bigger because we will add a lot of things. And let's just take this draw and oh, sorry. No. Okay, let's just let's just put here in the middle. And put this one here. Okay, so okay, let's start on this one. So in the deep dive, it will be everything will remain the same, but maybe we can add more descriptions. So we have let's just make these ones take a place. Yeah, and let's just okay. So everything will remain the same until we reach the web server. In the web server, we will add two things, and which the thing that I think about that we can add in the web server, they will act as the API gateway, so we can handle the authentication, and we can handle the rate limiting and rate limiting, and maybe if we wanna a lot of things that will remain the same maybe, but we will add a lot of context to this one because this service will have a lot of things. So let's just first of all, I want to delete the newsfeed cache. Delete this one, please. Delete. So let's take this one like that, and I just have a space for it. So the newsfeed, just because the newsfeed will work like that. That when we create some any news post, we wanna give a notification to friends that we create something. So first of all, we will have something called we wanna get the friends that we should notificate. So first of all, we will have a graph db and this one to store users ID, friends ID. So we want to get the friends ID, so we got them from the graph db. Other, we will say that we after we connected and we got the no what's going on? No, Why it's doing this? Okay. Sometimes Miro annoys me. Sometimes Miro really annoys me. And just okay. And let me put this one. Okay, so after we get the ideas, okay, make it white, man. Make it white. After we get the ideas, we will use the user something called user cache, and we'll talk about what this actually in a bit. And on this one, we want to get the friends data. So we have a user cache. When we get the user's ID from this one, we after that we want to get the user data. So we have a user cache, and this one is connected with also user DB. Okay. So this is first. Second, we will have a message queue. A message queue service, and this message queue service it will be used to work with it actually this one it will be a job that working under the hood. So it will be a fan out workers, and they will store everything in the news feed cache. Okay, so let's talk about this one. So we have the web servers. Basically, besides communication with the clients, the web servers also can have the authentication and the rate limiting that we said. And let's talk about fan out, because most of the things that we added in the fan out. So in the fan out service, the fan out is the purpose of delivering a post to all friends. So we have two types of modules. So in this one, that you can see right now in the fan outs that we have we whenever we have a new post, we get the IDs of the users, of friends, and we just after getting the IDs we access a user cache to get the user's data, and after that we have a message queue and fan out workers, and we push it to the news feed for the other friends. So let's just talk about this one. So the fan out on the right, that with this approach that we have, the news feed is pre-computed during write time, and new post is delivery to friends cache immediately after it is published. And the pros and cons of this one is that the news feed is generated in real time and can be published to friends immediately. Fetching news feed is fast because the news feed is pre-computed during write time. The cons, if the user have many friends, and we will talk about how we can optimize this one. The user if have many friends, fetching the friend list and generating the news feed for a lot of them are slow and time consuming, and it is called this problem called a hotkey problem. So for inactive users or those that really log in pre-computing news feeds, like when we have users that really log, like when we build the news feed for them over and over, just we burn our resources. So for the fan out on read, the news feed is generated during the read time, and this is an on-demand model. So we have like the recent posts are pulled when a user load their pages, or make the tweet, the last tweets are displayed whenever the user load his page. So the pros and cons of this one: the pros is that for inactive users or those who really log in, fan out on read works better because it will not waste computing resources. And the other thing good is that data is not pushed to friends to share. It's not hotkey problem. The calls that fetch in newsfeed can be slower. So we have these two solutions. We have reading, building the fan out on read and on write. So and when this one, if you can see that we adopt a hybrid approach between both of them. So when we get the benefits of both of them and avoid the bit fails in them, since fetching the newsfeed fast is crucial, we use a push. We use a push model for the majority of users. For celebrities or users who have many friends, followers, we let followers pull the newsfeed content on demand to avoid system overload. And actually, the consistent hashing is useful for techniques to mitigate the hotkey problem, as it helps us to distribute request data more evenly. So let's talk about more about this one. So we have it like that. So first of all, we fetch the friends ID from the graph database. The graph database are suited for managing friends relationship and friends recommendations, interested readers, and etc. Second, we get the friends. We get friends in info from the user cache. The system then filters out friends based on their settings. For example, if you mute someone, their tweets will not show up on your on your Twitter newsfeed, even though you are still friends or like still following each other. Maybe another reason why posts or why tweets may not show in the user newsfeed could selectively share information with specific friends or hide it from specific followers or hiding from them. Three, we send the followers list and the new post ID or new tweet ID to the message queue. The fan out workers, the message queue connected with the fan out workers. The fan out workers fetch data from the message queue and store newsfeed data in the newsfeed cache. You can think of the newsfeed cache as newsfeed cache would be like a post ID or like tweet ID and user ID mapping table. Whenever a new tweet is made, it will be appended to the news feed table, and yeah, basically that's it. And I guess last, we store the post ID, user ID in the newsfeed cache, and yeah, that's it. This is how we handle this one in building the publishing. So let's just get a deep dive into the newsfeed retrieval. So I want to just do this. Okay, up. And yeah, and let's copy this one. And I guess yeah, I guess it will be quite wider. So if we wanna get deep dive, let's say that we have everything that we have right now. So we have the newsfeed service, and we have the newsfeed cache. As we said before, this one will handle. Let's just make it quite wider. It will handle the auth and the rate and rate limiting, and yeah. And in the newsfeed service, will connect with user cache, and the user cache will connect it to a user DB, and also we will have the same thing for, we will have post cache. and post db, and we will have post db. This is what we can add to it. And okay, so let's just say that first of all, the user will send the request to retrieve their newsfeed or their tweets, and the load balancer will read the request or receive the request on the web servers. Web servers call newsfeed service to fetch the newsfeed. The newsfeed service gets list tweets IDs from. Sorry, it's not. Sorry, I am not focusing at all today. Sorry for that. It's not post ID. It's tweet ID. I guess I did this problem a lot. Like I talk to a post instead of tweets, and I talk friends instead of followers. Sorry for that. So, but it's the same thing. But like we should just pay attention to the details. Okay, so I would say the web servers call the new feed service to fetch the newsfeed. Newsfeed service gets a list of tweet IDs from the newsfeed cache. And we have 5 users. Newsfeed is more than just a list of feed IDs. So it contains username, profile picture, post content. It contains a lot of information about the user. And the newsfeed service fetch the complete user and post the object from the caches. And lastly, we have the fully hidden newsfeed is returned in JSON format to the user to read it. So maybe I could talk about the cache architecture of the cache architecture. It's quite important to talk about it because it has a 5 layers, and I guess in the interview it will ask you about the cache architecture, because we talk a lot about the cache, because most of the time that we this type of application, it's all about low latency. So we talk a lot about caches. So let's just first make this white, and I'm gonna talk about the cache. I don't know if I need actually to have this one. Let's just delete. I don't wanna. Let's just delete this one, and let's just try to talk about the caches. So let's say that I will have list 1, 2, 3, and we talk about the caches. We have 5 layers. The first one, which we called the news feed, and this is like the news feed, and this one will have the news feed as you as you guessed. The second one maybe will be the content, and this one will be something called a hot cache, and I'll talk about that means in a minute. Hot cache, and we maybe like we have a normal cache. Normal. Now just make it wide because we will use a lot of things. So I just want it to be wide. And maybe you have a third one. Maybe it will be a social graph. And this one will be maybe followers and following, and maybe we have action, and this one will be maybe liked, and maybe retweets, and maybe replies. I have 5. It will be counters, which will be the like counter, the replay counter, and maybe you have other counters which I don't know about. So The newsfeed it stores the ID of the newsfeed of the newsfeed. The content it stores every post data. Popular content is stored in the hot cache. The social graph stores the relationship between in the data users. The action stores the actions, and the the counters, as you can see, store the counters. So we have these 5 layers of caches, and I guess you will most likely you will talk about them. So I guess we are done. So we want to do a wrap up. So in the wrap up, we just win in we maybe we want to talk about scaling the database. So we can just talk about the vertical scaling with the horizontal scaling with your interviewer. We can talk about the SQL or using using NoSQL, because I didn't talk in about any database type. You can talk about that with your interviewer. We can talk about the master slave replication. We can talk about the read replicas. We can talk about the consistency models, and we can talk about database sharding. Other points that you can talk about, I guess we can talk about the keep the web tier stateless, the cache and data as much as you can. We want to support multiple data centers. We could lose couple of components with message queues. We can maybe like have a monitoring and logging to make sure that everything works. And yeah, that's it for this video. I hope my descriptions got good, and hope if you like my content, you should subscribe and hit the notification bell so you will never miss a video. And see you in future problems.